What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, blues people? You know I get excited when I speak to fellow blues folk for several reasons, especially one that comes out of a state that's not only dear and near to my heart, but run through my blood. Today we have, as I asked her if I can call her Miss Gemini, but her full name is Miss Geminiidragon. And from what I was told by my man Christian, she's a blues vixen on steroids vocally. So, how you doing, Miss Gemini?
I'm doing good. Not complaining.
Well, let's get into your story because I listened to the album.
Okay. All right.
And first, I love the passion, gruffness, the urgency of your singing. That's, to me, besides something that I think personally always resonated to me growing up and currently, but I also feel that's like a key signature to a Black vocal style and phrasing. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree. I think it comes naturally, It comes naturally.
So this wasn't.
It does.
Okay. So let's talk about this. We're going to weave in and out several things. The purpose of Jack Dapper Blues Heritage Preservation Foundation is to get the story of modern day Black traditional music practitioners, right? So we want to go back to where this voice comes from. We want to go back to where the name comes from. We want to go back to Louisiana. Talk to us about your early days. How did the blues come into your being?
All right. So, like most people, I grew up in a musical family. Like people either sang, played an instrument. There was always music in the house. My mom sings. My dad just loves all types of music. Grandfather sang in the church. My uncle playing in church right now. So always was surrounded by music. And as a little child, I didn't realize what I was gravitating towards. But even as a little child, I gravitated more towards blues music. That's what pulled me. I didn't know what it was. And of course, we listened to everything in the house. The Emotions. My dad loved a lot of Jimi Hendrix and Paul and the Funkadelic and stuff, But I listened to Jimi Hendrix and Cream and those kinds of bands, not knowing as a little child that they were actually replicating Black music. I didn't find it out until I was a teenager, that what they were doing was actually from my own people, but that's what I was drawn to coming up.
So would you say that's what you mean by it's natural?
Yeah. It was always there. I just didn't know what it was or what to call it. Yeah.
So share with the audience the area of Louisiana your family come from and you grew up in.
Thibodaux, Louisiana. Yeah.
And talk, what is most people when they think Louisiana, everybody goes to New Orleans, right?
I know. Yep.
And then there's those who feel they have a little bit more information about Louisiana, so they go over to Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about your region in parish.
So we are southeast of New Orleans. So we're below New Orleans. We're closer to the water, I guess you could say, and that's pretty much just a small town, small town, not even a city. You got a Walmart, you got a Lowe's, got a couple of dollar stores.
I wanted to ask you about the venues when you were growing up and a little girl, but I have to talk about your vernacular and cadence and speech because I hear Louisiana all in how you say those words.
You can't help it. You can't help it. You can camouflage it momentarily when you need to, but
I
it's
hear
in
you.
there. Hmm.
So let's fast forward a bit. Like I said, we're going to jump around. How did you meet Christian?
He actually contacted me. He contacted me initially to record some background vocals for one of his projects. And for whatever reason, certain reasons, I wasn't able to actually participate in that. And then he got back to me again and asked if I wanted to, work on a project, and it just grew from there.
Okay,
Yeah.
which leads me into my next question. Again, we can go backwards with this.
Mm-hmm.
What did he hear that said, I want to work with this woman? So in other words, when did you become, or at what stage did you feel you became a professional singer, and what were the projects that you worked on?
Okay, so to answer the first question, now this is his words. He heard something in my voice that he felt he hadn't heard in another woman's voice. So that's to answer the first question. Now, as far as being a professional singer, I think I'm on that journey now. I've been singing all my life in the church. I was in a girl group in college. We tried to put some stuff out. Different other little groups as a young adult, cover bands, that kind of thing. But to finally have music actually recorded and made available for the world to be able to consume, I feel like I'm on that journey to becoming a professional vocalist.
So now we speak about your vocals, which are very strong, and the business of music breaks things up into genre. The regions of Black culture breaks it up into style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where would you say the inspiration of your song style, your vocal style, outside of just being Black and from Louisiana?
Okay. Well, so like I said, I grew up listening to a lot of white bands. To say, like I said,
Cream and
Cream, yeah, a lot of rock. I grew up listening to a lot of rock music, so I have that. But I also grew up listening to a lot of soul music, as well. And I grew up singing in church. So all that combined, you feel me, kind of led to where we're going now. I liked a lot of like the AOR bands, like Fleetwood Mac, that kind of thing. So that's where we were headed with the project. But that's also the music I grew up listening to as a little child, as a little girl.
I had a follow-on question to that because I wanted to ask you, maybe I'll just say it so we can come back to it, any particular women singers. But before we get to that, I find it ironic because rock and roll comes from the blues and both are Black musical expression, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
As I'm listening to the album, I hear rock and roll, I hear electric blues, I hear soul, right? I even hear, oh man, you just mentioned their name that your father listened to.
Parliament Funkadelic. Oh, yeah.
Parliament Funkadelic. And the woman group that you named, You Got the Best of My Love.
The Emotions.
Yes, I hear all of this, right? At what time, was there any point of the project where you were just like, I'm just doing traditional Black music regardless to how it's categorized? Did it circle back to that understanding?
Well, the way we incorporate that, the understanding that this is Black music, even though people may say that it's not, we know where it came from, and to try and get into a space where we're reclaiming it. Like that's how we circle back to that.
No, I dig it. I dig it. Better Than Ever to me is drenched with Nolans. It's real Louisiana. It's real Louisiana.
Yes.
Yeah. Woman Scorned that to me has a nice, I would say Chicago, maybe even St. Louis blues feel,
Okay.
right? So
All right.
well, not feel, that's what it is. But when you were going through the catalog, when you were writing these songs, when you guys were putting this together, were you saying, okay, this is going to be this style, this is going to be this style, or y'all just organically did it, and when you listen to it, it's like, wow, that's this?
Well, so the let's see, the thought of what this the particular song is going to be, as far as this song is going to be more like a Fleetwood Mac song, or this song is going to be more like a Cream song, or that kind of thing. That was Christian, so he decided, hey, we're going to write this kind of song, and then then it became more organic. But there is there's a plan in play. We have a plan in play on how to retake this genre. If you want to touch on certain things, to say, hey, this is ours, and yes, we can do it, and we can do it well. You feel me?
So now, with that being said, any particular women vocalists you were growing up that you was like, wow, one day I would like to take that to another level?
You know what? I've always gravitated toward male singers. I always have. Like I have a lower register. And that's my lower register is the strongest part of my voice. So that's what I always gravitate toward, male singers. Of course, I listen to Patti LaBelle and Aretha Franklin. Like I said, the Emotions. I liked a lot of Billie Holiday, and like I went through phases as a child where I would just consume everything of a particular artist. So like one summer, it was all Denise Williams as a child, or the Emotions, or like I said, Billie Holiday, Horn, and so like those are the female vocalists, I guess, that I gravitate towards. But as you hear, they aren't. Well, Nina Simone, I can consider blues, but for the most part, they aren't really considered blues singers.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm happy you said that, because that allows me to ask you a question that I ask pretty much everyone on my platform. What are the blues to you?
So to me, the blues is like something that comes up through the DNA. Like that's one reason why I said that it's natural, because even though you may not particularly be going through a whole lot of turmoil, because our ancestors went through so much turmoil, it still resonates in you, and you still can pull from it. Like to me, that's blues. Like tapping into that anguish or that story that you want to present to an audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, that's blues. Like that feeling.
I hear you.
If you can pull from that and present that, and whatever the tempo of the song is, whatever the story is, that's the blues.
So I'm happy you said that, because there are purists, there are enthusiasts, and a whole bunch of isms and ists when it comes to the blues, right? Some people believe blues is just downtrodden. Some people understand blues can be fast-paced and happy. Who do you feel has the right to say what the blues is or isn't?
That's a hard one. That's a very tricky one, because sometimes you listen to a person or you see a person singing blues and you're like, well, how can you sing the blues? Like what feeling are you pulling from to say that you're singing the blues?
Right.
You know what? That's a hard one to say. That's a hard one to answer.
Right. Well, I'm not trying to trip you up. I
know.
Okay, because that's another question that I always ask, I ask everybody, but particularly Black artists, because particularly after Chris Thomas King's open letter.
Mm-hmm.
If you do remember that?
I don't. Nope.
Yeah. Maybe 2018, and he was off the Grammy board. He submitted an album, and they said it wasn't blues, and he started explaining where the blues comes from and what the blues is. And recently, in Rolling Stones, there was an article in Marquise Knox out of St. Louis. Buffalo
I read that
Nichols.
one.
Yeah. So there's this thing that's going on with the equity of blues. So I have to ask these questions to see what our blues folk feel, about it, because there are those who think that the blues is removed from Black culture. What do you think about that?
I do think, in a sense, it has been taken, because my mom and I were actually discussing this morning, like trying to find an audience locally. It's kind of hard because people around here, especially around my age, don't listen to the blues. Or if you tell them that you're singing the blues, they think about that downtrodden, oh, my man then left me, everything is horrible.
Right.
And they think that's all the blues is, So I do feel that it has been taken from the Black community. Like they think that it's now only a white man's thing, especially blues rock. They feel like that's for the white man, Right. You should be doing Southern soul, or you should be doing R&B, what you doing the blues, that kind of thing.
So, without getting you in too much trouble.
Yeah, don't get me in trouble.
I'm not trying
to build something over here.
Exactly. I'm being careful with this question, but your statement triggered a question. So, have you experienced that? People of any ethnicity or racial background saying to you, "Why are you playing the blues, singing the blues?"
I have. They don't say it that blatantly. Like I'll pick it up, underneath what they're saying. Oh, you singing the blues? Oh, okay. Well, I thought you was going to do this, or well, who are you going to sing to? Who's going to come to your shows? That kind of thing. But that's just locally. Like I said, I live in a small town. So that's just.
Do you think if people knew more about the context of what the blues was, past and present, that some of these misnomers could be eradicated?
Yeah, most definitely. It's ignorance, That's what it is. Yeah.
And I'm happy you said that, because ignorance is not a bad word. It's not negative. It just means you have a lack of knowledge in a particular, right?
Exactly. You just don't know. Yeah.
So now, I would like to know, before I go into the name of the album, because I'm really into naming conventions. I want to know where you got your name from.
Well, nothing outlandish. I'm a Gemini. That's my zodiac sign. I like dragons. That's it. I thought it sounded cool. I thought it sounded tough. You feel me? Gemini dragon. That's it. Nothing.
Well, that's a lot. I mean, it represents you, your personality.
Yep.
Okay. So with Fighting Fire with Fire, that's the name of the album. Yes. Okay. Now, on the surface, I would say that fire and dragons are correlated, right? But I would like you to share where the name of this album is inspired from. Just
like I said, their urgency to want to make a pathway. The genre, music in general is like, just there's so many people nowadays making music because it's so easy to make music.
Right.
So you have that mass of people to kind of break through, and then even the blues genre is flooded with people making blues music. Whether you feel like they should or they shouldn't, or whether you feel like it's good or it's not, there's still a lot of people making music. So just trying to fight through that, flow of people, sometimes you gotta use fire.
That's right.
To break through. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. That's right. So now this is not your first album.
This is my first album.
It is.
This is my debut album. We put out a couple of singles, one this Christmas and two last year. This is my first album. Yeah.
So this is even more exciting. So this is why you're saying right now you're going for it. So please explain why now?
Everything just fall in place. There's not necessarily a why. Everything just fell in place this way. So Christian contacted me and things just
went from one thing to another.
Yeah.
So explain something to me. All these years you were singing, you was in groups, cover, original. Did you ever have an inclination to put a record out?
Oh yeah, of course. Of course I did. Like I say, ignorance, you don't know. If you don't know how to do it, or even if you think you know how to do it, sometimes things don't get accomplished the way you want them to. Life sometimes get in the way, poor choices get in the way. Relationships, you feel me? All that can kind of get you off your pathway,
Right. But, so life.
Yep, life. Yep.
What you were about to say, but, and it sounds like you're about to answer my next question. That's why I want you to say it.
But, if I hadn't gone through those struggles, I wouldn't have the voice I have. The passion people say they hear is because of all the things I've gone through. So I can pull from that and kind of throw it into the music, And I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. I wouldn't be making this album now, if I had done something prior to.
Like I said, I knew you were about to answer my next question. Do you play instruments? I see you sitting in front of guitars.
I strum. I do not claim to play. I strum. I mess around. I love guitar. I love music, but I don't claim play at all.
Okay, okay. Do you sometimes strum while you're singing?
At home. I used to do like the open mic night and poetry kind of rounds, and sing my little songs with acoustic. I used to do that years ago, but I don't claim that. That's for at home only.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe to write a song, to fill some things out. Yeah.
Right. So now this album is dropping this month.
That's right, on the 18th. Yeah. March 18th.
Any shows coming up to go with it?
We just did a show yesterday. We have another one in May locally. And right now, that's all I have to say. We're working on some things, but nothing's set in stone yet.
All right. Well, tell the people where they could follow you on social media, where they could find the album and get all this information about upcoming shows. All
right. So I have my Facebook page at Gemini Dragon. And there's two I's in Gemini, Geminii, Dragon. Same thing for Instagram. If you go to my Instagram page, of course, I have a link in there that'll lead you to everything. The music that's on the different streaming services, my YouTube channel, and back to Facebook and Instagram. Yep.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here. Yeah.
Before I let you go, what is your favorite song off the album and why?
That's a good one. You know what? I like Fighting Fire with Fire. I like that one. I know it's probably cliche. It's the title, track, but I like it. It's fun to sing, you know what I'm saying? And it tells what we're trying to do, I like it. It tells a story I think people can relate to.
All right. I appreciate you, Ms. Gemini, and looking forward to all the great things you're about to accomplish.
Thank you so much. Thank you.